Hey, thank you for listening to the Vegan Ambition podcast. I'm here to let you know that you can visit us on our website at theveganambition.com or on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. We post new content every single day. And now, time for the podcast. Hey, I'm Ruji, and today we're joined with Marc, and I'm Ruji. Welcome to the Vegan Ambition podcast number 13, and today's main question is, do you kill bugs and insects? You know, if you were like a vegan.
Yeah.
Marc is not a vegan, but we'll get to that. Before we start, I'd like to thank today's sponsors, and I'd like to thank onions, miso paste, and of course, rice vinegar. This podcast is a tool to help vegans, vegetarians, and anyone else who's interested in a plant-based lifestyle. The Vegan Ambition is a no-pressure zone and a no-hostility zone. We don't pressure our guests, but are simply here to discuss different viewpoints. I hope you'll join us on this journey, and education is the biggest goal here. And this is Marc. I've known Marc for about 8 years?
Yeah, I'd say 8 or 9. I'd say
8 or 9. And he is not vegan, but he's dating a vegan. So I'm very curious to see what his views are and how they've changed since meeting his girlfriend and so on. So Marc, can you tell me a little bit about your diet and just like about yourself?
Well, I'm like you said, I'm an omnivore. I am dating a vegan, so that's a little bit challenging sometimes, but I adapt to it from time to time.
And at the beginning of your relationship, you know, like how was that? How did that go? I know now you're very adapted to it. You've been doing it for a long time, but at the beginning,
I mean, I used to date a vegetarian, so that wasn't too different. There were still some like eggs and milk in my and that was acceptable. But when I started dating Eleanor for like veganism, I guess that changed it drastically because then I knew that I couldn't eat meat around her. Well, she's accepting it, that I could eat meat around her, but I just choose not to, to respect her beliefs.
Right. And so like, in terms of your diet, I know you said you're an omnivore, but what kind of, like, how often would you say you eat meat? How often would you say you try specifically not to eat meat? What's your kind of like goals, or what do you do there?
I understand from like the documentaries I've seen, the research I've done, that eating meat nowadays isn't really like sustainable. The fact that meat is manufactured in a mass amount, that the fact that they create land just to create meat, but then that causes a lot of illnesses in the meat itself. E. coli is a rapid disease that you always look out for. So that's always in the back of my mind now, especially after watching a bunch of the documentaries. At the same time, I see that a lot of people want to just maintain their diet, eating only a well-rounded diet of eating meat, vegetables, grains, fats. And I see that part too, just because I'm in the health field. But dating...
Can you explain what you mean by eating a well-rounded diet? Like, where kind of did you get the information that...
So it's just like growing up when you're like like in middle school, kindergarten, you get the thought of like the health
based on
triangle.
Like Canada's food guide. You know, actually, just as like a point, Canada is changing their food guide recommendations.
Yeah, they change it every like 5 years or every so often. I know that because...
Well, yeah, it needs to be updated, but this time, so like last year they sent out some surveys for it, and I was like in the beta test of it, I guess is what I would call it. Yeah. And they sent out what they're like proposing, and they actually said like super, super low quantities of meat on it. So they're moving away from that. So even Canada as like a thing, like, I mean, I disagree with the notion that meat is a necessary item in your diet, and Canada is now saying the same.
Yeah, so I didn't read that one, so I didn't know that. But if I'm just looking into like my past as I grow up, like what I've grown up with. So that's what my base knowledge is right now. Sure, of course, science is always evolving. You don't know what's going to be the new standard. So that's why I'm trying to see what like is the new like well-rounded meal. I see veganism as an option because I see the health benefits. I see the long-term lasting effects that it can lead to if you just choose a plant-based diet. But at the same time, like as someone who's always eaten as like an omnivorous diet, it's not just like a immediate change. I understand that some people have that emotional attachment to animals, and that's why they immediately switched over. But then I see some people who progressively changed slowly. Like you, I remember you were a vegetarian, then pescatarian, then
Pescatarian, then vegetarian. Yeah.
pescatarian, vegetarian. Then you all of a sudden you went to veganism.
Yeah.
Like as you can see that you can't just switch immediately from
Right,
one to
and
another.
I'm not saying that you can, but I think like even when I went pescatarian, I think I had this notion in my head that at some point I'll probably end up going vegan.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't sure when that would happen, and at the time it was very hard for me to give up like seafood. But like the question I have for you is, you kind of say like, it doesn't happen overnight. That's fine. That's fair. But a lot of people who do that, they make a conscious effort to like do something. So as an example, a lot of people who go vegan at some point, they decide, we're going to start doing meatless Mondays, or they decide, I'm going to try to eat X amount of vegan meals a week, or I'm going to make sure that I cut out this specific meat and work my way towards something else for my health often. And I'm just curious because like, as someone who's very close to a vegan, it sounds like, you have this like idea that maybe you will go vegan one day, but you don't have a plan, or you don't have like a specific rule set or in motion to kind of get there. So you kind of like say that it doesn't happen overnight, and it sounds like you might want to do it at some point, but you don't have anything pushing you towards that. So can you explain like why, or what's?
I guess it's just lifestyle.
Back?
Like I just grew up with it, and as someone who came from like third world country, I feel that like meat is a luxurious like item there. Like it's just what I was growing up with. When I came to Canada, the fact that there was an abundance of like meat resources around like shopping malls, like supermarkets that is easy to get. I just see it as like, oh, cool. That's like it's easily available. I never thought of it as like a cruelty as I grow up. But now, of course, like as media and society,
right, but you've been. I mean, I think that's like a valid argument when you heard about veganism like in the last year. But you've been hearing about it for 4 years, and not to say it's not a valid argument still, but it's like there's influence on you. So why? Like I'm just curious. Like why haven't? Like I'm gonna pester you because you're one of my best friends. Yeah. So like, come on, what's holding you back?
To be honest, I don't really know what's holding me back. It can be a social aspect. The fact like I hang out with friends that still eat meat.
Yeah, but I hang out with the same friends.
Yeah, like there's also like the another social aspect, but like the convenience of it. Like when I go out to work or when I go out to get some food, the closest one to me, let's say, is Tim Hortons. I can get a iced coffee drink. Like there's not really a vegan solution there.
Yeah, there is. I go to Tim Hortons.
Like a sandwich.
So I mean, what I got today was, I mean, it's a little bit like annoying, but first of all, they did just, I think, recently release a veggie sandwich. I saw it.
Oh, see.
I saw it on the menu yesterday, but I went there today and I got like a sesame seed bagel with peanut butter and a hash brown, and those are all vegan.
Yeah. So
and they even have a vegan cookie, and it's just like, yeah, I see where you're coming from, that there's like this convenience, but
yeah, when I see there's a vegan option and I'm with like a group that that tells me that there's a vegan option, and yeah, I'll go try it out. Like I'm one to try out that sort of things. Well, I already had that smoked poutine that we had. I already had the vegan option on that one, and I just wanted to try something new again. Like I like trying things. That's why it stops me. Actually, like I used to do like culinary activities as a background, so I just wanted to have that notion like I want to try everything in the world, so I'm actually experienced it. Like when it comes to meat, veganism, pescatarianism, as long as like there's an option, I want to try it out. I want to say, hey, I've tried this. It's good. It's bad. And
so
like the notion.
I have a question for you, because I've met a lot of people who are like that, who are vegan and like that. So like I met this girl when I was in Hong Kong, and we went to like dinner or whatever, and she was telling me that she is not vegan in Hong Kong, which like astounded me. But beyond that, I'm just curious, like, but what's you want to try something new, but when you buy that, you're very much in the sphere. So do you think about the moral obligations that that buying that product does. I mean,
Of course, like I understand where the food comes from now. Like I try to make a moral choice whenever I choose a meat option. And whenever I am not like getting food, I try to cook veganism at my own house.
and that's great.
Yeah.
But I mean, like as an example, let's take yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So the moral obligations.
Yeah.
And lots of people will say like, oh, I try to get grass-fed beef, I try to do all these kinds of things, but that's not a thing at Smokes. Like Smokes Poutine is not a place for that, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we did want to get a veggie burger before that.
Yeah.
That's fair. Like I will give you that. You did bring that up, but we went there and I got a vegan option.
Yeah.
And you didn't. And so like it just kind of like is different for me to understand why you did that when you have so much influence. Like when like I understand my friends, like our friend group, who don't care, right? They don't have any influence. They don't have anyone who has helped, who's showed them the films. They don't have anyone who has explained to them how their bodies will be better on a vegan diet. They don't have any of those things, and you do. And so it's kind of like surprising or like interesting when you go and you get a non-vegan option where a vegan option exists. Does that make sense? Like, do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Like, I'm just trying to understand, like, why, like, because you know that you're gonna go vegan when, or no, I know that you're gonna go vegan when you get married because you're not gonna have another option. Like, you're not.
I mean, I wouldn't
At
say
home,
that
you're gonna be vegan for sure.
Yeah,
and eating
but
out, you're
at the
gonna
same
be
time,
with
I don't
your
want to
wife.
turn vegan just because of a relationship. If I were to choose to do vegan, I'll choose to be as like a moral standpoint. You're seeing as like a vegan as I should turn veganism just because I married someone.
But
I don't think that's like the right way to turn vegan at all.
But like, so people who learn the moral standpoint, right, as I did, as other vegans did, as Eleanor did, as Edith did, it becomes impossible for them not to go vegan or to go back.
Yeah.
So you know the moral standpoint.
Yeah.
So what is stopping you today?
Honestly, it's just like convenience for me.
Convenience?
Like if I had that option to,
But
not like it's okay. I wouldn't say
You
like,
did.
like okay, it's not always that I have the option, but if I have the option and I have like the conscientious like thought like, oh, I don't want to eat meat today, then yeah, I'll go choose the vegan option. But when I'm at home and I'm making my own meal, I've actually bought like vegan products.
That's great. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on you for that. Or, whoops, I didn't mean to swear. I'm not being mad at you for that. But I'm just like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. Like Eleanor does question sometimes to me.
I'm sure she does, because I think she herself, I'm sure, sometimes doesn't get it. She's like, you've learned so much about it that it seems like it would be the obvious choice at this point. So what is the thing that is stopping you from it being the obvious choice? Like, when something becomes an obvious choice for me, that's the choice I make.
Yeah, like again, just like I said, what I literally said. I just want to be open at this right now.
You just want to be open.
Yeah, I want to try different meals. I want to try different things. If I have, like, I'm okay with eating like 90% of my diet as like veganism, even close to like 99%. But if I'm out and I want to try something new, I will try it.
So I have a question. In that same kind of ideology, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where the people who like who go to, to like different countries, and that's where they eat non-vegan. Anyway, I don't like would you, for example, if I give you a challenge, right? Like if I said, okay, fine, you want to try new options.
Yeah.
Why don't you do that when you travel? Only
when I travel?
Only when you travel.
Well, there's still stuff here I want to try out before I go that. It's also okay. So it's the same thought of convenience, the same thought of me trying something new. It's the same thought of why a lot of people can give it up. Is it like that comfort feeling as well? A lot of people. I have that like connection between like myself and animals, but I understand why people can't have that connection, and that's why they can't go vegan. I wouldn't say that I don't have that connection. I love animals. I love seeing them. I can't see like a cow and then look at it as a steak later on. Like I'll have like I'll just have regrets over times. But at the
Right.
same time, I see some like a meal. I see the hard work that people go into it. I see like the traditions that goes into a meal. I see like the culture between it. I being in Asia myself, being a Jewish Russian, seeing the different meals between like gefilte fish and like Thai cuisine, like things I've never tried before, and I want to try and experience the world through food. Have you ever seen like documentaries of like traveling
But
monks, just seeing food in different lights? That's where I get where I want to try different meals and different flavors through different like meats, if you can say.
okay, so there's two things I want to say to that. The first one is I understand the idea of trying different things. The way that I view it is, there are things that I've missed out on, like some things that I've missed out on. Sure,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's fair to say, but I like I get so many great vegan options.
Yeah, I'm not
And
saying
there are
there
so
no-
many of those dishes. Like, for example, last year I hosted a Rosh Hashanah dinner for my friends and me, and I made all of the options that we had, I made them vegan.
Yeah, and that's
So-
great. And that's like that's an option. But
So
when I
just,
go out and I see
why not though?
yeah, but I'm saying when I go out and I see a meal I've never tried.
Gefilte fish.
Yeah, that's the one dish I'll never try again. Like
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
yeah, they're like again there are dishes that I will never get to try vegan. Like you should know that there are things that can't go vegan right at this moment, and that I want to try before. Like I'd say, okay, I can. I'm done with eating meat.
Okay. So okay. So the
But
way
now that
that
you said it, I will try all the meats when I travel.
I mean, if that's kind of what you want to do. I mean, the thing that happened to me when I traveled, which was really great actually. Vegan limitation helped. What it forced me to do was to go to areas of cities that I've never been to, like, or I would have never gone to otherwise. It forced me to try like different stuff that I just have never like ever seen before. And in a lot of the places that I went, especially in Asia, they had the same thing as the non-vegan one, just vegan. Like, it was so similar that it didn't even make sense to like go, like, for me it didn't make sense to give it up, because I could get everything I wanted vegan. It took a bit more work, it took a bit more travel, but I loved traveling and seeing different parts of cities. Like, I went to this one place just before I left Hong Kong, and it was a dim sum place, and it had the best dim sum I've ever had in my life. And it was hard to get to. It was really like in an obscure area, but it was so great. It was so much fun to see the city from a different viewpoint. And that's what helped me. But the thing I want to say quickly before we get onto the next section is the reason that I ask this is because of this not anecdote, I guess, but it's like this like story I read about a couple years ago, and it was this guy who was dating this girl. She was vegan already, he was not, and she encouraged him to eat vegan most of the time, except he would have like a burger on the weekends, and he did that for like a year. And at the end of the year, he realized that he didn't want to eat meat anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like
And so I have that as a thing that's ingrained in my like idea, and whenever I think of you and Eleanor, I'm just like, how has Mark not gotten to that point yet? How has he not gotten to the point where he has realized that he doesn't want to or need to eat meat anymore?
well, I still live at home. We still both live at home. We're still university students.
Right.
the main factor is that when we don't live with each other yet, it's very difficult to like have a vegan like diet every single day. If I go downstairs in the middle of the night and I'm hungry and my mom cooked up a meat meal, and like I can't really have the energy to cook for myself, so that just turns me all the way back. Like having like a family who cooks like meat every single day is very difficult for someone who wants to try to turn veganism. Like even Eleanor, she told me in her past that when she was trying to turn veganism, her parents didn't know what it was. They cooked her an egg, they cooked her cheese, and she would just they would just be confused. In my household, where like I have brothers.
Yeah, but couldn't you just like? I mean, you don't have to go vegan, but couldn't you just try to start encouraging your family to eat? I mean, it's healthier for their bodies anyway. I encourage my sister and her to try to feed the kids like vegan as much as they can.
Definitely, I do say like the health aspect of it. My mom was a nurse; she knows the health aspect of it. I just keep telling her over and over again. But I feel it's the cultural like ingrained like the cultural like feelings ingrained in her mind.
To break the culture.
I try, but it's
hard. I
like you show them they get ingredients of what they're used to, what they're used to at home, or used to their old like home place. Yeah. They make their own like meals from like muscle memory. They add what they add, and like, oh, I don't even know why I just added. I just added because I remember it adding as like a bunch of salt, a bunch of soy sauce, a bunch of just like started meat with oil, and then like, oh, look, there's a dish, and like, oh, it's comfort for me. Okay. They're in a different country. They get what they want and just make what they want at their home. And when I'm there and I'm again back going home at like 10 p.m. at night, I do not have the energy to cook. I just go for whatever they made.
Okay. Mark, do you like onions?
I do like onions.
Onions are necessary in almost every dish. I find that they're very, very versatile and they're very common. They add just a little bit of flavor that improves every single meal. I actually used to hate onions, and I still hate raw onions, but I've been putting them into most of my dishes because they are packed with nutrients. One onion has 20% of your daily vitamin C intake, and if you're ever feeling low in vitamin C, you can grab an onion from your pantry and dig into it, just like Shia LaBeouf did in the movie Holes.
Did you know that there are many different types of onions? There's a white onion, red onion, and you know that if you don't like eating raw onions, maybe you're eating a white raw onion, you should try a red onion. That's meant for being raw. I
hate all onions. I hate like onions on pizza as well. The only thing that I'm good with is if you put like onions inside of a dish, like in pasta or in like.
So it's like a beginning, like a base.
Yeah, like it I'm fine with it as a base. I hate it on like as like its own thing. I never eat them.
So how about French onion soup?
I haven't ever had it, I think.
All right. Next podcast.
Thanks, onions, for sponsoring today's episode. They are very good for you, though, and I definitely recommend putting them as a base into a lot of things. Mark, I'd like to get on today's question, which I would like you to think about from a vegan standpoint, I guess, because the question is, would you or do you kill bugs/insects? Or what do you think? It's even more like, what do you think that vegans should do?
Well, as I know it, veganism has the respect of anything with a heartbeat or like living pulse. So bugs wouldn't categorize into that. So, or wouldn't they be?
What do you mean? Bugs have hearts?
Yeah, I'm saying that. Like in veganism is like to have a respect with anything that has like a heart or like living pulse. So insects would fall into that category. So they should not be eaten at all. Though there are some people who do see insects as a source of like protein and a source of substitutes.
Yes, they do.
So I know someone greatly that they strongly agree, and if they are going to remove a meat like environment, they will substitute as a insect environment, just because it's cost effective. Two, it won't take any of our food resources, just because you should know that growing vegetables, about 1/3, 2/3 of it is just thrown into like compost and trash. Yep. They can use that compost and trash to grow insects to, again, further develop meat.
My question is actually more so like, for example, like ants or bed bugs or like pests almost, because I think pests are more of a controversy. Like I think I disagree with growing animals, like any animal, for the purpose of consumption.
But we grow food for consumption.
Yeah, but food isn't.
I mean, for vegetables.
Yeah, but they're not animals.
they live and grow and have a.
And they don't have hearts. They don't have understanding of how the world works at all. Insects have a bit more understanding, and like, to me it doesn't really make sense to have a like to start growing insects to eat. But wait, I mean like for example, I am one of those vegans who like, I mean, if there are cockroaches in my apartment, I will not allow them to stay because cockroaches are not good.
Yeah, so it's that thought of like you have your own like safe haven, and if someone's invading your safe haven, you want to get out of it. That's more of like a like instincts where
it's also just like they carry disease. They can carry disease, and they can do other things that are not really good.
I mean, they're outside like everywhere. You don't even realize it, so they don't really have diseases that you would fear.
Inside though.
Yeah, I guess, but it's more of a notion where you want your like own little safe haven. You don't want nothing to like disrupt it. And the fact that there's an insect that's
so what would you say? Like then would you not call me a vegan?
No, I'd still call you a vegan just because I get the idea that you want your own like, again, own safe haven in your own room. If there's like a cockroach or an insect that wanders right into it, your safe haven, you want to get rid of it, whether means of killing it or releasing it safely.
Right.
There are some people who catch it in a cup and would not want to.
Right. Like I don't kill spiders. Like I never ever kill spiders. And I don't kill because I know spiders are harmless. Well, but there are certain things that you don't want. Like you don't really want fruit flies in your house because
so they ruin your food.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I have 3 rules when it comes to insects.
Okay. 1,
if it's in the corner and not bothering me, I'll let it live and do its own thing. If it's on me, it's gone.
Yep.
If it's on my food, it's gone.
Fair enough.
Like those are my 3 rules.
Okay.
Like insects, I feel are a necessary part of like ecosystem. Like if you choose to kill, if you choose to kill them, you choose not to kill them. It doesn't make you a vegan. Doesn't make you not a vegan. It just makes you human. It makes you want to have your own little safe like zone where you want to like express yourself, do whatever you need to be, and feel safe. Like if someone's invading your like home, even it's an animal, it's a human being or an insect, would you want to protect yourself?
I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, I would protect myself from.
Yeah, so let's say
from something that was trying to hurt me.
Like you love cows, you respect them, you don't eat them. But let's just say a cow just wanders into your household and starts like rampaging or like going around with it. Would you want to get rid of it? I wouldn't
kill the cow though.
Yeah, but you want to get rid of it. It's that same notion.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I wouldn't kill it. And I mean, I try not to kill insects unless they're like pests, unless they are like really categorized as pests.
Yeah. So let's say,
but then the question becomes like, would you kill like mice that, that act as pests or rats?
Yeah, well, of course.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do in that situation.
Well, it's the same notion where if your cow came in, you would try to leave it without killing it. So if you have a mice infestation, you'll try to get rid of it without killing it. But then if it's still causing you problems, you're going to have to resort to exterminating it so that you feel safe at your own home.
Yeah.
That's not really a non-vegan thing. You're not... I see veganism as, well, from my knowledge, as a stand against mass growing or mass breeding of animals.
It's actually not so much that. It's more so like it's about what you can do that's the lowest possible thing on our environment.
Yeah. So
like the lowest contribution that you can make on our environment, on animals, on that. So like I know Edith, for example. If you don't remember, Edith was on our podcast on episode 3 with Eleanor.
Yep.
And like Edith is a big proponent of that she's on, that it's you're trying to do the big best thing you can by consuming the least, and in some cases like there's no option or it doesn't really make sense like the options that exist, so you have to do that.
Yeah. Well, again, it all depends on your standpoint to it.
Right.
There's no like right or wrong at this point. Like some people see it as like a gray zone where they choose to eat meat, choose not to eat meat. But back to the insects question, I don't think that is it won't make you as vegan or less of a vegan if you choose to kill, get rid of, or keep the insect in your like vicinity.
Okay, that's a good answer. I like that. Yeah, because I mean, I think that's one of the things I like to talk about in this podcast is the fact that, you know, there's a lot of different viewpoints in veganism, and there are vegans who will not agree with me, but
well, everyone has their own opinions. Like you can't
exactly
categorize someone as saying like, hey, like you have to be this or you're not this, or you're not a vegan at all, or hey, if you're doing this, you're 100% vegan. Like there's
right. But I mean,
it's a spectrum.
It is a spectrum. But I wouldn't, like, for example, if there was someone who ate meat once in a blue moon, I would not say they were vegan.
Well, in their eyes, they might be vegan. Again, you can't really categorize someone who can't.
Yeah, but from my point of view, I would not say they're vegan.
Yes, but it's your. Like you said, it's your point of view. It's not their point of view. Is what they believe. Whatever they're trying to do. Like it makes is to them it feels right.
Right.
Whether it's eating meat once a week, eating meat like once a month, like it's their beliefs. It's their choice.
Yes. And that's one of the things that is with any religion, any viewpoint, any political position, any vegan or non-vegan position. It's like what makes you one of the things is not necessarily what society decides per se, but it is a lot what you decide. And of course, I mean, again, if somebody ate meat all the time, I would not say they're vegan, but if they said that, I would just keep saying I don't agree with that. Like I could imagine people taking this and like just start calling themselves vegan but actually eating meat. Could you imagine that?
Yeah. Well,
I could see that in our society today.
Yeah. Well, our society's changing. We're changing, so you don't know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen next. That's very, very, very true. Mark, have you ever used miso paste to cook anything?
Yes, I have. I've used almost every single Asian vegan option imaginable to cook for my girlfriend. Nice.
I love miso paste. Miso paste is a traditional Japanese seasoning that is created by fermenting soybeans with salt and koji. If you don't know what koji is like this thing that is made of rice. It's like what is it called? The
koji? I'm not sure what they're made of. I just know it's made of fermented soybeans.
No, koji's from rice.
Rice?
Koji is like the what's it called? It is like it's like the when bread like mold. Oh, it's rice mold. That's what koji is. It's rice mold. Anyway, miso paste is a thick paste that can be used for spreads, for pickling vegetables and sauces. You can also use it to create miso soup or add a bit of saltiness to a dish. It works really great in like big soup that you're trying to make, a big veggie soup. Miso soup at restaurants usually includes bonito flakes, which is made from fish. So if you want to make some vegan miso soup and some delectable miso soup, you will need miso paste, and you can make that at home.
You also need mirin and soy sauce. If you don't know what that is, mirin is actually a type of vinegar. It's made from rice. Mm-hmm. It actually creates more of the unique flavors that you are used to when you're drinking miso. I realized that about 2 weeks ago when I used mirin to cook some soup. I just added that and completely changed the dish. So try that next time.
Sounds very interesting. I will definitely try that next time. Thank you, Miso Paste, for sponsoring today's podcast. Okay, Mark, we're gonna get onto the food tasting portion of today's podcast. Yes. And today we're trying.
Wait, before I quit that.
Yep.
Hi.
What did you want to say?
Nothing. I just want to say wait.
Oh, you just want to say hi?
No, I'm just saying wait.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I cut this off in the portion. Wait, fuck. There you go.
Why?
It's dark.
It is dark, but it's fine.
Okay.
Today we're going to be trying...
Wait 3 seconds, because you have to cut this. Love you. See, I know the rules of podcasting.
Okay. Today we're going to be trying Light Life plant-based bacon. It is the original veggie flavor. And just for the listeners at home, you can get this at very many grocery stores. I found it in like the most like basic grocery store today, like Food Basics or whatever. And
are you saying that it's a basic store?
I mean, it is called Food Basics. And the ingredients are pretty simple. there's just water, wheat gluten, soy, and then some other stuff that makes it taste good. And it actually has a lot of like a decent amount of protein. I mean, for 3 strips of these veggie slices, there's 7 grams of protein, which is 10% of your daily intake. There's some fat in it, which is good fat, and there's a bit of iron, a bit of B12, and a bit of other stuff. And I mean, it should be pretty good. I tried a little bit when I was cooking it, but I'm excited to see what it's like now. Although it has been sitting around for about an 45 minutes. So
can we microwave it?
No,
please.
Can't. We actually can't. I'll tell you why later. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, grab a slice. Now I'm gonna grab a slice.
That's thick. That's crunchy. Wait, you don't smell it? Yeah.
No, I just dived into it.
Eating is, see, this is what I mean. You have to experience food. You have to smell it. You have to feel
Yeah, but
it.
I'm doing that with vegan options. I'm just actually really hungry. I haven't had a lot of food
like
today.
spam for those who want to know.
Yeah, you're right. It does. It also kind of smells like soy sauce. And it's not like close to bacon. Like I wouldn't say that it smells like bacon or tastes like bacon. It's quite salty though, so that is a good part of it. Bacon's very salty. Are you okay? You look. Oh, he's you know what he's doing? He's doing this like very. I'm really trying to eat this face.
It just tastes like oversalted tofu that's crisped up.
Yeah, but I think it would still.
I don't know if this counts as ASMR, but like, you hear that kind of crackle? Like, it's very crispy. It's like if you don't want to buy this, just thinly cut a piece of tofu, add a bunch of salt, soy sauce, and anything that you see salty, dry it out, and fry it, and there you go.
I think that's fair. Although I could see this, like I could put this in like a sandwich with like some tomatoes and some lettuce, and I think this would be
yes,
pretty
that's
yummy.
called a BLT.
Yeah, and it would be pretty good.
I'm gonna have a second one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the other one too.
I'm gonna have a third one too.
No, that's mine. I don't want you to have that many. I want to eat it. It's actually pretty good. It's like growing on me as I eat. Yeah, Mark's also saying that. He's nodding his head. He's just busy eating. So, if you're interested, you can grab these at basically any grocery store. I think Light Life recently came to Canada. It wasn't here that long.
What Life?
Light Life.
Oh, I've never seen them.
They're new. I think they're new in Canada, like in the last year.
Oh, Canada is very strict on getting food, vegan food.
They are. Yeah.
Canada.
It's an American company. I remember when what was that company? The ones with the sausages. Remember they got like banned in Canada for a while?
It was some sort of ingredient they used was not
No. It wasn't an ingredient they used that was not vegan. It was an ingredient they used that had to be tested in Canada on an animal, and they refused.
Oh, so that defeats the point of like having the vegan label. Like if you want that vegan label, you have to go through like what people think is vegan, and one of them is testing animals that it should not be done. No.
Yeah, so I think they either got Canada to change the rule, or they changed their.
If Canada changed the
their
rule, I would believe that like everyone will be in an upset just because it's there for a reason.
What do you mean? They're Canada's getting rid of animal testing on all like body stuff.
Oh, I thought you meant that they got rid of the rule for that one brand so that they're able to sell in the. They are able to still test their product on animals so that they're able to sell in Canada.
No, I think Canada got rid of the. I think I don't know exactly, but it would be great if Canada got rid of the rule about testing stuff on animals.
Well,
I know there is happening. So
yeah, there are some products that are changing.
Yeah. Man, this is good. It would go really well in a BLT.
I mean, without it, it'll just be. Well,
like, I wouldn't. The picture on the box has it with pancakes. I would not do that.
Why not? Bacon with pancakes, bacon and eggs.
I don't know.
Vegan egg.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be much better in a BLT.
This seems to me, this is like a sandwich thing. Like you have to put this on a sandwich.
It's a sandwich thing.
You just can't eat this on your own. Like you need to have like a bread. That's why you're having a pancake beside it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
Like this is too salty. Just
But
to
I
eat
think
by
the like tomatoes, like the tomatoes and lettuce would really like help drown out the saltiness a little bit.
Probably.
But it would be much closer to like actual bacon when you did that. Like I don't know. I mean, when I think bacon was the best in like things, not by itself. It is salty though. We're both getting drinks of water now.
You know what is bacon? Vegan. Bacon bits.
Bacon bits are vegan. You're right. So Mark,
You're having long pauses, dude.
I know that's okay.
You're gonna cut them.
My listeners won't mind.
Cut.
Are you gonna go vegan soon? What do you think?
It all really depends if I is able to have a household that's vegan, and if that's the case, then I'll have like the more like an easier transition. Like when it comes to a transition between omnivore to veganism, if I don't have that like immediate like shock change that most veganism have, it's gonna be that slow transition change.
Mm-hmm.
But me living in a household that is not vegan friendly at all, like even my cat, he has to eat meat.
Yeah, cats are a little
So
bit. That was on one of our podcasts.
yeah, so
too.
I can't really like I can't have that easy transition that most people have if they have a household or they live by themselves and they want to go vegan. Then you can buy all their vegan products. They don't accidentally slip into that like a fallback where they go like, oh, I just want to have like a burger. Hey, look, burger, take it. But if they have like a vegan household and they can't even get it, and they have a strong will, then they can't. They don't go outside and get it. I mean, then they won't have that fallback.
But what will you do?
Well, when I move out, I'm gonna try to have a vegan household, and if I am still with Eleanor, she will push me more to have a vegan
Yeah,
household.
she will definitely not let you have a non-vegan.
Yeah,
household.
we already talked about this with her, and I agree that we will have a vegan household, and I will have a easier transition time if I do go there.
Do you think that you'll ever commit to being vegan all the time?
I wouldn't say all the time. If I'm sick and tired of trying, I'm always trying the same things over and over again, and I'm sick and tired of it, and there is a vegan option, then yeah, I'll go that route. But like I said, if I go traveling or I see something new that I want to try myself when I'm out and about, I will go and try it out. Haha.
Okay, so you don't think that you will... Well, you don't know, basically.
Yeah, so it's the future. You can never surely say, I'm going to become this or I'm going to be doing that. You just have to roll with the punches and see where life takes you.
Well, you know what I have to say? I'm very excited for the future podcast that I have you on where you are vegan.
Well, I may or may not accept that then.
I hope that it happens. I've wanted you to go vegan since I went vegan because I've never understood why you were. And I still want you to go vegan.
Yeah, you'll be waiting a long time, buddy. You and Elner.
We'll see. Maybe you'll turn around. Maybe you'll
Maybe again, like
change.
I said, you can never project the future.
I suppose. Hey Mark, do you like rice vinegar?
Yes, I do.
Rice vinegar is a clear liquid made from fermented rice. It is high in acetic acid, and it works great at enhancing the flavor of basic vegetable dishes. Apparently, it can also be used as a household cleaner. I did not know that until I did the research.
Yes, you do.
It is so versatile. Thank you, Rice Vinegar, for sponsoring today's episode. So Mark, did you have a good time today?
Yes, I did have a good time today. It was
Did
good
you
seeing
learn anything?
No, you have little to no knowledge compared to Eleanor when it comes to veganism.
I wouldn't say I have little to no knowledge, but
I mean, she has a dietetic background.
yeah, for health benefits, she understands a lot. She's also been vegan a lot longer than I have.
Exactly.
And I mean, I'm still learning some things. But you also know...
Don't worry, buddy. We all still love you.
Thanks. But you also know a lot of things already. So it's not
Correct.
like... This isn't like talking to someone who doesn't understand veganism. It's like, you get it. You know everything about it. The street is the loudest street in the world.
Yeah, slowly becoming downtown Toronto.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything you'd like to say to end out the podcast?
I will be back.
Oh, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sorry.
That's okay. I hope that everyone enjoyed today's podcast. We're trying something new out today using different mics, and it sounds a lot better. So I'm very excited. What did you want to say?
You can hear everything now. Yes. Last time you can't hear anything.
All right, let's stop scaring my listeners. I'd like to thank today's sponsors, which were onions, miso paste, and rice vinegar. I'd like to thank Mark and you, the listeners, for being with us today. If you have a question, a suggestion, you want to be a sponsor, or you want to be on an episode, you can send us an email at veganambitionpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day.
Bye.